Hello, everyone. My name is Al Kazani, and I'm the founder of Particle N, a startup where we reduce the precious metal costs for the industry by 90%. When I started my PhD here at the University of Connecticut, in one of the best clean energy research institutions in the world, it was almost 3 years ago. We were working on nearly 10 research projects sponsored by major corporations in clean energy and green hydrogen areas. That is where we found a common business problem. Almost every single one of these big corporations were struggling with high costs of precious metals that they had to purchase every year for their facilities. Particle N was founded to address this critical issue. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the story of Particle N. Today, US faces a critical vulnerability. Our entire supply of key precious metals like iridium and other platinum group metals are 100% imported, largely from China. As highlighted in this Reuters headline, recent export restrictions by China in response to geopolitical tensions have further stressed these already fragile supply chains. This issue isn't even isolated. According to Resource World, analysts are forecasting a global shortage of these critical metals in the coming years. And we are already seeing the impact in some precious metal price charts where they have tripled over the past 3 years alone due to this growing imbalance between supply and demand. The demand is specifically high in sectors like automotive catalytic converters, ore refining, chemicals, and green hydrogen, which our home state, Connecticut, is a global hub for it. These industries are foundational to both our economic growth and clean energy transition. As shown in the graph, iridium demand, which is one of these imported precious metals, is projected to soar with a deficit of over 26 tons per year by 2040, driven heavily by green hydrogen production. This combination of geopolitical risk, market vulnerability, and soaring prices makes this current system not just expensive, but unsustainable. Analysts in the Department of Energy stated that if we can reduce the amount of waste that we have in the industry sectors, we can address this issue. And this is exactly what Particle N does. Stay tuned. The industry standard of using these precious metals is in the form of very fine powders to get the most surface area out of them, because that's the only thing that matters. In the other words, these industries are paying a top dollar just to use the surface area of these very tiny particles. Since there's a limit on how small a particle can be, we thought, why don't we go beyond this and fill up the interior of these very small particles with something cheaper like titanium or aluminum and save everyone a lot of money and prevent all those wasted core materials because they are never ever touched ever. Here on the right-hand side, you can see one of the many samples we created in our company under a million times magnification where you can see this core shell structure. And the fun fact here is that these white dots that you can see on the screen are the real atoms that our electron microscope could capture in our facilities. This core shell structure leads to 8 times less precious metal requirement for getting the exact same job done and over 90% cost saving for our customers. And of course, we filed a worldwide patent for it. To put these savings into perspective, take North Texas Green Hydrogen Plant, for example. Is powered by nation's strongest wind farm, and it needs a large supply of iridium for its electrolyzers. If the plant sources iridium from Umicore, the German market leader by 60%, at today's price, they will spend more than $64 million. Buying the same quantity from Particle N costs only $7 million, even after our 50% profit margin. And of course, we can increase our profit margin. That's a 90% reduction in upfront catalyst costs, freeing capital for faster build-out and lowered price of hydrogen. The story is the same for California and hundreds of other green hydrogen plants that are being built around the globe. Catalytic converters face a double hit today. They're expensive to make because they're packed with platinum, rhodium, precious metals, and they're frequently stolen for exact same reason. With Particle N's core shell technology, automakers can cut the precious metal bill in converters by up to 80%. For a typical passenger car, that translates to roughly $2,000 off the sticker price. Imagine, the next time you shop for a new vehicle, our breakthrough could be the reason that you could save at least $2,000 while just staying as clean. Precious metals aren't just for jewelry that we buy for our moms on their birthday. I love doing it. They're used in many industries like automotive catalytic converters or refineries, chemical manufacturing like vinegar, hydrogen peroxide that we put in our wounds, and notably growing green hydrogen sector. Heavily depend on these precious metals for their electric conductivity, corrosion resistance, and chemical catalytic activity. These industries collectively spend billions of dollars annually on precious metals, as it is shown in the red bars. With our PCT patent pending technology, we cut this cost by 90% for them. To those little green bars, saving billions of dollars worth of currently wasted precious metals. You remember the graph I showed you earlier about iridium shortage? This was a report from Johnson Matthey, one of the top 3 precious metal refiners in the world, that showed the world is facing a massive shortage of iridium. This means that a lot of industries like green hydrogen, satellite electronics that are going to use this are going to be unfeasible and going to be knocked out of the market soon. That's pretty bad, right? The good news is that we have Particle N. With that 90% saving we offer, we can save the world and have over 1.6 tons of supplies by the year 2040 and keep all those good businesses alive for humanity. We want the satellites. Our dedicated team consists of driven graduate students and recent graduates from diverse backgrounds. We are deeply committed to bringing Particle N's breakthrough to market, actively managing technical development, business operations, and strategic partnerships. And we have also had 2 prior commercialized inventions. We sold a patent in 2019 for a 7-digit number and invested some of that money into 2 other ideas we had. One of them was this solar cooling technology that is featured by Yahoo News here and is being commercialized by Coleman Company, the big tent manufacturer. And the other one was turned into Particle N to save our country and our world from precious metal shortage. Together, these patents show a clear pattern. Invent, commercialize, and reinvest, turning intellectual property into a real-world impact. Particle N is guided by an advisory team with more than 100 years of cumulative experience in clean energy hardware, precious metal catalysts, and go-to-market execution. For example, Len Bombell, who was my co-advisor when I started my PhD, he was the guy that was managing the team that designed the oxygen and hydrogen system for Apollo project that landed humanity on the moon. They needed oxygen. And with this caliber of guidance, we de-risk both science and commercialization path, ensuring Particle N delivers transformative cost saving for every single customer. Deep technology, of course, means nothing without a deep go-to-market strategy. And that's why we built a bench that knows how to move products, protect IP, and scale companies. We have already received orders from industry leaders, including notable companies such as Johnson Matthey, which I talked about earlier, that top 3 precious metal refiner, and Amos Goldsmith. And additional partnerships and orders are actively underway from Tanaka, Japan, and Harrius from Germany, who also mentioned that they're interested in acquiring us. Today, we are raising $1 million pre-seed round to fulfill our existing orders, hire the right staff, and finalize our worldwide patent coverage and ramp up our business development efforts to convert our growing customer interest into revenue ahead of next year's seed round. You should invest in Particle N because our core shell technology cuts the precious metal waste and cost by over 90% across multi-billion-dollar markets such as catalytic converters, green hydrogen, fuel cells, or refineries, industries that have already been ordering our products and are interested in acquiring us. And our product adoption is going to be frictionless. This is the most beautiful part. Our precious metal powder looks and handles exactly like the way that the raw input material look like. It's just 8 times more efficient and it's far cheaper. We're positioned to redefine the precious metal supply chain. Join us in redefining the future of precious metal usage, reducing catalytic converter theft, securing supply chains, and making green hydrogen viable for the world. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to engage with you.